So you see a company report a blockbuster quarter, and the headlines just give you the big numbers. But what's the story behind those numbers? Today, we're going to dive deep into New Holdings' massive Q2 2025 earnings and really unpack how this fintech giant thinks about growth. Let's get right into it. And it really all starts with this one core idea from CEO David Velez. Look, the theme here isn't just about getting bigger for the sake of getting bigger. It's about getting bigger and stronger at the exact same time. That's the promise they're making, and it's a big one. And boom, here's the proof in the pudding. $637 million. That's their net income for a single quarter. This number tells you right away this isn't just a story about future potential. It's a story about what's happening right now, today. They're seriously profitable. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with those headline results. Then we'll look at the customer growth that fuels this whole thing. After that, we'll see how they actually turn users into profits, where they get their funding, and who's on the dream team they're building. And finally, we'll look at what's next. Okay, first things first. Let's really break down the core results that made everyone's heads turn this quarter. But to truly understand those big numbers, you've got to start with the engine that powers the entire platform. And that, of course, is its customers. Let's just take a second to appreciate the sheer scale we're talking about here. Yeah, you are seeing that right. 123 million customers. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's more people than the entire population of Germany. So we're not just talking about a fintech app anymore, are we? This is a massive financial ecosystem spanning across Latin America. In this table right here, this shows you how that massive user base directly translates into financial firepower. Just look at the year-over-year growth across the board. Total revenue is up almost $1 billion. Net income jumps significantly. This is what happens when incredible scale meets really, really smart execution. So having a ton of users is one thing. But turning those users into profit and doing it efficiently, well, that's a whole different ballgame. So how exactly is New pulling it off? Now, this is where the magic really happens. This is their operating leverage in action. It costs them just 80 cents to serve each active customer. Meanwhile, they're bringing in over $12 in average revenue per active customer. That's what ARPAC stands for. That growing gap between cost and revenue, that's the secret sauce to their profitability. And get this, it gets even better. The longer a customer sticks with New, the more valuable they become. Their oldest, most loyal customers, the mature cohorts, are generating more than double the average revenue. This shows a super clear runway for future growth as their newer customers start to mature. So this whole profit machine isn't just based on one thing. It's a system where all the parts are working together perfectly. You've got massive interest income coming from a nearly $28 billion loan portfolio, and it's all running on a super efficient operating model. Now, of course, with a loan book that big, you have to be incredibly sharp on managing credit quality to keep these kinds of results going. Okay, so we've seen how New makes money, but to lend money, you need, well, a lot of money to begin with. Where does it all come from? Let's flip the coin and look at the other side of the balance sheet. This right here, this is the foundation. Over $36 billion in total deposits. Think of this as the fuel in the tank for their entire growth engine. This massive, low-cost pile of cash is what allows them to lend out to their millions of customers. And if you're wondering what that funding actually consists of, here's the breakdown. The huge majority comes from what are called RDBs, or bank receipts of deposits. You can basically think of them as stable, interest-bearing accounts. That, combined with their electronic money accounts, gives them a really diverse and, crucially, a low-cost base to build from. It's a huge strategic advantage. You know, a company is so much more than its spreadsheets. It's about the people. And lately, Nado has been making some serious moves, bringing in some heavy hitters to its leadership team. It really tells you a lot about their ambitions for the future. First up, this is a huge get, Roberto Campos Neto. This is the guy who used to run Brazil's central bank. Bringing him on board gives them an absolutely unparalleled level of insight into policy and regulation, which, as you can imagine, is critical when you're navigating the complex financial world of Latin America. Next, a brand new CTO, Eric Young. This hire screams that they are deadly serious about their tech backbone. This guy is an expert in scaling massive, complex platforms, which is exactly what you need when you're preparing for the next stage of global growth. And rounding out this trio is Ethan Eisman as Chief Design Officer. This move just reinforces New's obsession with the customer experience. His whole background is about building digital products that hundreds of millions of people use and love, and that is right at the heart of the New brand. So you've got this proven model that's printing money, and you've just assembled a new leadership dream team. Where in the world do you go from here? Let's take a look at the strategic priorities that are going to define their next chapter. From the looks of it, their strategy is really attacking on two fronts. First, there's geographic expansion, really scaling up what they're doing in Mexico and Colombia. And second, it's about going deeper in their existing markets. That means using new AI models to expand credit, cross-selling more products to their massive customer base, and just continuing to get more and more efficient. And honestly, this final quote from the CEO just ties it all together beautifully. The business model is humming, and now they're building the team they believe can take them from a regional champion to a true global contender. It's a massive statement of ambition. Which, of course, leaves us with the big final question. They have the customers, they have the profits, they have the newly assembled leadership team. So the question isn't just if they can keep growing, it's whether they can actually achieve their ultimate goal, to become the most valuable digital bank on the planet.